I'm actually working on the 442. So I got all these brake lines and fuel lines laying around everywhere. I got to get these back in this chassis so they don't get lost, stepped on, broke, whatever. Maybe one day I'll update the fuel line sizing, but not now. Just get it done. I'm just going to do two at a time so I don't get these mixed up. I've blasted all the brackets and the hardware. I found this worked a lot better in the sandblaster. I just drilled some holes in wood, screwed all the bolts in there. As far as the lines, I put unions on there and then I flared a fitting, crimped the end and welded it to seal it up. And I did that to all ends of these lines. Well, of course, put new rubber on here, but these are the lines for the rear end housing. I even did the proportioning valve. I'm gonna go ahead and clean those other lines up, put these lines in epoxy primer and paint. The fitting that went in the proportioning valve was kind of a goofy size. It was a 9/16 18 thread. I just welded a washer on the end of a nut and screwed it on there. I'm gonna do one more for that line that goes from the back to the front. Other than that, I was able to get all the fittings and unions I needed to plug everything up. Good enough. It should hold out all the paint and impurities. I'm cleaning it off with a lacquer thinner rag. You can see how nice it's coming out. Some of these spots, though, here's the blue paint from when the car was painted blue. I think some of this might be undercoating. You might ask yourself, why is this guy painting these lines? I mean, look at all the bends in this. To try to reproduce that would be incredibly difficult. It's not rusted at all, so it's basically a perfect brake line. I want to preserve it so it lasts long after I'm dead. So I'll probably paint like these pieces first, then take them off there, hang them somewhere else. Same with that. I get the big lines last. Got the table set up. Some of you guys might think this is taking me forever, but really you can't rush a project like this, otherwise you start working quickly, doing crappy work, and that's not what this is about. I mean, this is about trying to restore a car, doing the best job I can. So we'll see how it turns out. It's been about a month since I painted these lines. Hopefully I still have that footage. And I'm start putting some of this stuff back together. Finally got some time. I think the best way for me to put those lines on is get all these clips on first, and then put both lines back in the car at once. So it's kind of have to rough in where those clips go and set it in there. Got these lines started in here. Got the proportioning valve back on. I put these guys on. They hold the front brake hose. Looks like a right and a left stamped on them. These brake hoses I got from Rock Auto like probably years ago. Too short, like half an inch too short. Here's that front one. I got it on there, but that just seems too tight to me. So I'm gonna get some different brake hoses. This is the kind of crap you run into when you're restoring an old car like this.
These are adjustable three-way drag race shocks, so when he takes it to the track, you know, there's three.
There's two little clicks and a big click. We're gonna put it on the big click. That's for like the street.
Well, I'm trying to show you. It's pretty stiff here.
We have these three-way adjustable drag shocks. I'm just putting them on the big click. That one for street driving. All right, shocks are in.
Auctioning them off. Cars that have stickers all over them. But as a memory of all the parts that you're putting on the car, you got to put them somewhere. So I think we're going to go with Competition Engineering for the shocks. Right there. Now it's done.
What kind of beer are you drinking there? Is that a Bud product?
It's a Bud product, but it's not tranny fluid. We didn't get the dark blue ones.
We got these all mocked up. We'll get these in some paint here. Tedious work doing all this, but it'll pay off in the end, I think. I think I'm gonna try to get a video out right here.
Right, if you would have had everything else painted and then you had these nasty brake lines and fuel lines on there, it would have looked ugly.
She's getting there, slow but sure.